On my 16th birthday, Daddy said I had blossomed. I remember blushing. I knew exactly what he meant. My tits were plump and filled in over the summer, and I lost a bit of weight. I had spent the hot days out on our deck by the pool, and he would come out and bring me a glass of tea on his breaks. We became super close that summer, and I felt him let me in. Daddy worked from home, which was a blessing because my mom was out of town most of the time due to her work. She headed up an anti-smoking nonprofit organization, Nicotine Free, that had her lobbying in Washington most of my growing up. I didn't mind. Mommy was a first-class bitch. I don't use that word metaphorically. She loathed my father for reasons I couldn't understand. Daddy was kind and tender. Maybe she hated him because she lacked those maternal instincts. I was never good enough for her. She was critical of every decision I made. I was secretly glad when I would see her overnight bag set next to the door. It meant freedom for me and Daddy. That summer was so special. He spent so much time with me. At night we would snuggle, eat junk food, and watch our favorite shows. I did a swimming for school, and he would go to every one of my meets to cheer me on. I would tell him how sore I was, and he would give me back rubs before bed. I would lift up my shirt so he could touch my skin, and he took so much time. He did all the nurturing things mommies were supposed to do. Daddy slept in the guest bedroom when Mommy was home, and it made me sad that she treated him like shit. Daddy finally quit trying to please her. My dad was a graphic designer, and he had a badass photography studio in a converted garage. He would let me hang out in his studio and take me pictures of me pretending to be a model. I would dress up and Daddy would call out different poses. We would laugh and have the best time. The night before my 17th birthday, Daddy brought me to his studio. He told me how proud he was of me and how beautiful I was. He said he had a pre-birthday present. I unwrapped the ornately oblong box and took out a pair of elbow-length latex gloves, a latex mini skirt, and a latex top that was a bra. I screamed in excitement and gave him a huge hug and kiss. He said he had a new client. They were a sexy new latex clothing line from LA, and he wanted me to do the modeling. I was so excited. I remember asking if Daddy thought I was pretty enough to model for his fancy new client. He gave me a mischievous smile and smacked me on the ass. I laughed and changed into the outfit. I came out of the changing room in his studio, and at almost 17, I remember his jaw dropping and not saying a word. His little girl was growing up, and he hadn't seen me dress sexy like that. It made me so happy that he approved. He handed me a cigarette and said it was a prop for the photo shoot. The ad campaign was based around a young bad girl doing things her parents wouldn't approve of. He said he would Photoshop the cigarette smoke in later. He coached me wonderfully during the photo shoot, and I was having so much fun. Then my dad told me that he was going to be in the next set of scenes. That was me with an older man kissing and flirting with him in the scene. I smiled devilishly and asked, does that mean I get to make out with my daddy? He responded, yes, it does. In the scene, he had the camera auto-shooting every couple of seconds, and we just had to get a few good shots. He came on set dressed in faded jeans and a latex motorcycle jacket. He held me close, one hand planted firmly, cupping my ass, and the other with his hand grabbing my face. My tits were up against his chest, and the heat was inescapable. Daddy hadn't felt the touch of a woman like that in a long, long time. I could feel his hunger. He talked me through the scene so we could get the shots for the camera. He told me our lips would be touching, but we couldn't make a lot of quick moves for the still shots to not be blurry. His lips reached mine, and we both giggled. We got serious, and when our lips touched, he had no problem going in deep. Something magical and unexpected happened. Daddy was the first I had ever kissed like that, and I reciprocated. We made out for several minutes with the flash of the camera taking it all in. His hands grabbed my ass to pull me closer, and I had no problem with it. He tasted so good. Later that night, after we both went to bed, I dreamed about my daddy. That he came into my bedroom and he undressed me. He kissed me all over and satisfied me completely. That was the night I awakened. I was no longer a girl, and I wanted more of him.